have you join us again on today's episode of Health and Environment Insights. I am Kemi Adeni. Today on the program, we're looking forward to discussing the topic, how to ensure water sanitation and hygiene, and that's quite important for a healthy living. And so today with me on the program, I have the pleasure of introducing to us a guest that I have and someone that you would actually be delighted to have on today's program. I have with me in the studio Professor Dayo Faduyili, OON, the former national president, Nigerian Medical Association, and also the former special advisor to the governor on health. Prof, it's good to have you here.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
I know we're going to learn quite a lot from you today, and so let's dive right into it. I'd like to find out from you, what's the difference between sanitation and hygiene?
Well, thank you. Hygiene and sanitation are closely linked, but they may be a little bit different. Hygiene is to make sure that your surrounding, whatever you do, is free of microorganisms. You have some good water, hygienic food, and you have to ensure that that surrounding is free of those organisms that can make somebody sick. Let me put it that way. It can be a bacteria, it can be a microbe, it can be a virus. All those things, if they are not within areas that it can affect us, we say that place is hygienic. Sanitation is an act of making the surrounding clean, of making things around you to be in a position that I believe you can live well. You know, we live within the armamentarium of large number of microorganisms, those that are bad, those are good, and we need to, as much as possible, take care of ourselves so that we clean those surroundings so that you don't have those bad microorganisms and organisms that affect us as human beings.
All right, that's good to know. So what you're implying is a healthy environment would give us better hygiene.
Yes.
Now, as individuals, how do we better our hygiene as individuals?
Well, the first thing I think is important is for us to have proper education.
To improve it?
To improve it, because somehow many of us are not properly informed about how we should have proper hygienic environment. Gone are the days when we were doing shot put. Shot put is you go to the bush and you throw away those wastes.
Okay.
But today we graduated into the pit latrine, and even those pit latrine has its own untoward effect about human being. And now we are going to water closet. These are different levels of keeping that surrounding better. The way we dispose our waste is also very important to ensure that we have proper sanitation and hygienic environment. The way we things that we eat, or how we breathe, or what we breathe, the way we take care of them to ensure that they don't do harm to us are also another way of keeping something hygiene. We have some people who really wash their cloth. By the time you have cloth that you wear over and over and over, it attracts bacteria and other microorganisms that can actually be injurious to ourselves. So it's a total encapsulation of first having the proper education, then secondly having to know how to prevent it. And that is why majorly we take a lot of enforcement role to ensure that people do conform to the proper way of doing things, proper way of disposing our waste, normal way of cleaning our environment. How do we look, how do we clean ourselves, how do we take care of our surroundings? These are all things that must be in place for us to say, yes, we are in a hygienic environment and we are taking good care of our society, and ourselves.
All right, that's quite explanatory. I'd like to find out from you, can you explain to us the importance of water sanitation and hygiene as it affects public health?
Well, fella says water has no enemy.
Okay.
And in his song, he said, whatever you do, you still resort to water. So water is central to us.
All right.
Secondly, we also need to know that 60 to 70% of a human body is water.
Constituted water, yes.
Okay, so water is very important.
Essential.
And the water we must take should be potable water, water that is fit for drinking. Okay, so if water we are taking is not potable, we are bound to have diseases, sicknesses, and the water is, even if you see the whole world, water occupies over 70% of the entire world. So water is important.
Right.
But the one that we need, which is the potable one, is the one that is scarce. And how is it scarce? It's because of the way we relate to those water. Naturally, stream water, water from the normal water are supposed to be hygienic, potable, but we, from what we have done over the years or during the time that those water are flowing, we have polluted it. So our pollution has to do, number one, when you dispose our waste, and you allow water to pick it, microorganisms will go kilometers of miles, kilometers away, and if you drink it, you can get infected. How you throw away your death? Today you see a lot of, if we don't do proper waste management, some of the waste get back to our water. We have surface water, we have water that are underground. All these ones are things that we need to be careful of, to be educated about, and to actually work towards having a water that is hygienic. So the important thing is that many of the water we drink are not good enough. Even some of those ones that are processed, how sure are we with those people who process them to be sure that they have not added some microorganisms into it? So it is a big issue when we are talking about hygienic water.
I think
it's important for us to look into that.
I think that brings me to ask you this question. What is your definition of hygienic water? I know that for some of us in Ondo State, people who are your neighbors, who are from the river end, we have water around us. And so what's your definition of hygienic water? How do we know that this particular water I'm about to use for domestic or whatever you use, how am I going to be sure this is hygienic enough for me, for my family, and also for my environment?
Unfortunately, many of the way we want to see the quality of our water is through laboratory and consistent testing. We do not have that in large number around us. Secondly, is for us to find a way to have as much as possible way to guide our water from being polluted. The first one, we can do it with a lot of government policy and positive activity. The second one is about us. It's about human beings. So how do we do that? Those of us in riverine area, we go to the water and do everything on it. It will pollute water. So we should be able to define a way in which we want to know where our waste
is going.
Secondly, you see a lot of people during rainfall, they just put all their debt, just put it in the rain, in the erosion, in the drainage. By the time you put it in the drainage, two things happens. It blocks the drainage, and you have the effect of flooding. Secondly, you have a lot of microorganisms that you have allowed to enter into the water, and it will pollute the body of water. Thirdly, we have a lot of activities that we do. Those who are on the upland, and we have a lot of borehole, a lot of wells that we do on the water. Sometimes you see some people putting their waste drainage close to where the wells are, the well is. So by the time you do not follow all this pattern, you will not have a good water. But the truth about it is that God has done something great for us, that He has given us some soldiers within our body that can kill many of them.
That can fight
them. But the truth is that sometimes they are overwhelmed. And if they are overwhelmed, it is either on two reasons, either those microorganisms are so many, which we can try to correct, or because our immunity is low. But in this case, we are talking about how we can get hygienic water. One, we need to ensure that we take our water from a place that is safe, fairly safe. If you are not too sure, make sure you boil your water, and when you boil your water, you put other things like alum so that those dead can coagulate. Thirdly, you need to keep your water well, because even if you have hygienic water in the house and you don't wash your hand regularly, you have microbes in your hand, you touch those water, you can also get it polluted. So it's a lot of things that we can do.
I agree that we're going to be in for a very educative one from you. I'd like us to pause there. I would like to go on a short break now, and when we return, we'll continue conversations with Professor Dayo Faduile, OON. Don't go away. This is Health and Environment Insights on Osrc TV, and today with me on the program I have Professor Dayo Faduile, OON, the former national president of the Nigerian Medical Association and also a former special advisor to the governor on health. And so before the break, you were trying to educate us on the ways to have hygienic water, having water sanitized and also live a healthier life. And so I'd like to go back to that or continue on that. What are the ways that we can have proper water sanitation and hygiene in short?
Well, if you want me to go to the details, I would say the first one is that we need the government to do the needful.
And what's the needful?
The needful is to ensure that at least the water that are being sold commercially are hygienic.
Okay.
And we need a lot of laboratories in place to test them. The major contaminant in this water is coliform bacteria. That is bacteria that are within the intestine. So when they take it, they may look clean, but they look at it, they see the microorganism, it has a cutoff. Anyone that gets beyond that cutoff, yes, it's not. But today you can see anybody who is struggling, who wants to do anything, he says he's having a pure water factory. How pure is pure water?
How pure is the pure water?
So the first thing is we need some regulation.
For the sachet water production?
For the sachet water and even bottled water.
The bottles, all right.
Okay, so I think we need to do that. Secondly, is for us to look inward within ourselves, and for us to get educated about how we want to process our water. The first one is that in our different homes, we must ensure that we try as much as possible to boil our water.
Okay.
By the time you boil water to close to 70, 80 degrees centigrade, most of the bacteria or microbes will have died, and allow it to settle. Then you can drink it. At least that is for your own home household. Thirdly, is to ensure that our sanitation is good. Throwing dirt into our drainages during rain season,
especially now that the rain to be here,
they should be
we should desist from that.
Stop it. Again, we need to ensure that in our different households, our sewages are not on the surface. And that is where we have major problem. Anytime we have major rain and we have some flood, the sewages find their way on the surface water, and by the time it gets distributed, and you go to take your normal vegetable and you don't cook it. Vegetable is better when you don't cook it too much.
Exactly.
By the time you take it, and it has been a recurrent decimal, usually after heavy downpour, after flood, a lot of people come down with gastroenteritis, which is diarrhea and vomiting. And it is because many of the times the sewage water gets to the flood and it's equilibrate over the entire land. So these are areas in which we want to take care of. And it's not only water. When we are talking about water, it goes beyond only water. It goes into our housing system, how we build our houses, our drainages, how we take care of our drainages, our waste management, how we take care of our waste management, and how we ourselves behave. All these ones are totality of making our water potable.
All right. I'll take you to say when our water is safe for drinking, it means our health will be better. But what are the challenges we will go through, we can face, if, for instance, we do not ensure we have proper hygiene? What are some of the outbreaks that we've had? I mean, going by the fact that you're a professor of medicine, what are some of the challenges that are posing threats?
You have heard severally about gastroenteritis, which is vomiting and diarrhea. And let me tell you, like I've said when we started, the body is about 60% water. By the time you go to stool 5-6 times, you have lost an appreciable amount of water in your body. And if you do not take critical care, that person may die. We have heard about episode of cholera coming in and out. The last one we had as close to us as in Lagos State that it kills so many people. We hear about outbreak here and there. These are areas that they are waterborne diseases. We have other waterborne diseases. Well, the one that we still have around, like all these worms. You may not see it because it's taken frequently from this stool to this true water many times. These are things that we make people see. Again, improper storage and improper management of water is related with malaria fever, because when you have water stagnant here and it's not moving, all those things can be a breeding point for some of these organisms and can make life more miserable for human beings. So we are, I will tell you that almost everything, every disease that affects man, almost a lot of them have one relationship or the other with our water. Like I've said, water is life. A lot of things that we have about us is water.
That's right. And so I'd like to find out from you, going by your experience in your field, what's your word of encouragement for us to stay healthy?
Well, the Yoruba says, "Imototolo le ṣẹ́gun àrùn gbogbo." Sorry if I spoke that Yoruba language, but it is important for us to know that our hygiene has a lot to do with us. And as they used to say that health is wealth, a healthy nation is a wealthy nation. For us to be healthy, we must ensure we take proper care of what we take, especially the water we drink. And the water is very important. There is nobody who can live without water. for up to 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
There's not. If you want to cook, there's nothing you want to do that you will not use water. So that water is central. And for us to live healthy, we must ensure that the water we take, the water we use, the one we use to take our bath, all of them are properly in a hygienic position. Some of the water, all those onchocerciasis, all those, a lot of things that are involved with water management, proper water management.
I think we'll be rounding off on these notes, and so as is customary, before you give us all of the technical language that we would need to rack our brains before we have interpretations to them. And so finally, before we round off, it's customary on this program that you give us your parting words. And so I would like you to scribble your parting words here just in 2 seconds, Prof. Your parting words on how we can have proper water sanitation and stay hygienic. I hope it's not going to turn into a thesis eventually.
No.
Yes, that's right. Thank you very much, sir. And so, Prof is saying to us that water is life, and we should ensure that we leave it to the fullest. And just as I will always say on this program, your wellness is your priority. I look forward to having you next week on this program. But before I go, I'd like to appreciate the sponsors of this program, Ondo State Waste Management Board. Thank you very much for being our sponsor. And so finally, Prof, thank you very much, sir, for coming. As always, on behalf of the board and management of OSRC TV and the producer of Health and Environment Insight, I'd like to present this to you. We appreciate you for coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my pleasure.
Thank you very much for coming.
Management.
Thank you. And so, see you this time next week as I come your way. I am Kemi Adeni. Stay healthy, stay hygienic. Thank you for watching. Bye.